Howdy, friends and family. Today I'm going to show you the hood, the neighborhood where I live. And this is the front door of the building where I have my apartment. And my apartment is on the third floor of this building. And I'm going to try to show you my balcony where my room is. It is maybe this room, maybe this balcony. Okay, anyway, now I'm going to show you what's in front of the building, and it's the playground. All apartment buildings in Kiev that I have ever seen always has a playground like this. This reminds me of my childhood when I used to live in the United States. I remember that my parents would walk around different neighborhoods trying to find an apartment building where they would accept kids. And there was 3 of us, my little brother and my little sister. And it seemed that every apartment building that we went to always had a sign that said adults only, no dogs, no pets, no kids. Here in Kiev, that's impossible. I've never seen any sign that says no children or adults only. I arrived in Kiev 6 years ago in 2006, and at that time I couldn't speak Russian very well. I had problems. Also, there was several cultural problems, and that is that although Kiev, the Ukraine is a country that has a great problem with alcoholism, and a large majority of the workforce doesn't work very well because they tend to get drunk. They did not know much about Coca-Cola, and they had strange beliefs, myths about Coca-Cola. They believed, and some still do today, that Coca-Cola is made of cocaine and heroin. And when they saw me drinking Diet Coca-Cola, they automatically decided that I was completely addicted to heroin and cocaine, and they thought I was very dangerous. So as a result of drinking Diet Coca-Cola, I was thrown out of several apartments. And as a result, I lived in many apartments in many neighborhoods throughout Kiev during the first 3 years of my life here in Kiev. And that's why I say I never seen an apartment building that didn't have children or didn't have a playground like this. In the United States, it's very rare to find an apartment building that has such a park for kids to play in at every apartment building. It seems to me that in the United States, kids are treated like dogs. But here in Kiev, parks are very playgrounds at every apartment buildings are just part of life here. It's very normal. It would be very strange for Ukrainians to see an apartment building that didn't have a playground. Okay, now we're gonna go around the building. This is the route that I usually take for going to work. And here we will find the Mormon church. And sometimes when I'm waiting for a bus in front, very close to this Mormon church, I meet Mormon missionaries to come to me and show me the Bible and try to tell me about, Moroni and Joseph Smith and stuff like that, which I already know very well. And they say that they're very surprised how well I speak English. I tell them if I couldn't speak English well, I would be in trouble, because English is my number one language. English is my native language, and no matter what they say about my accent, that it sounds like this or it sounds like that, it is still my main language, the language that I used throughout all my education in the United States, the language that I used to get my degrees from UCLA, teaching credential from Cal State Long Beach, and the other colleges. That would not have been possible without English being my native language. And here's the entrance to the Mormon church. And here's a sign that says the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Okay. And now we're gonna go to the bus stop where I usually wait for a bus. It's still winter here, and although this is a sunny day, there are still piles of ice everywhere. It used to be snow, but now it's ice. So this is the bus stop, and it's a typical bus stop here in Ukraine. And when you wait here in the average bus stop, you don't get wet. There's a bench to sit on, and there's sometimes even a little snack bar that makes it very convenient. In the U.S., where I used to live, you end up waiting for hours for a bus. Here, the bus comes every 10 minutes, and usually I only wait 5 minutes here, or two minutes. So now we come to the park. This park is just across the street from the building where I live. I don't come to this park very often. I haven't been to this park for the last 2 years maybe, because I have to work. I'm too busy to enjoy this park. So I'm here only to make this film. And with all these trees, you can imagine how green this park looks in the summertime. Oops, I almost slipped again. I have fallen down a few times because this ground is really ice. It was snow, but that was several weeks ago, maybe a month, and it froze and it became ice, and it's extremely slippery. I do have spikes on my shoes. I have special straps with spikes, but even so, I have to be very careful, because I could still slip and fall. Now, it's been so long since I've been here, and when I was here, I didn't come to enjoy the park. I only came as a shortcut to get to those buildings over there in the distance, because that's the business that takes care of the hot water. So I went there to open a hot water account when I first moved into my apartment here in this neighborhood over 2 years ago. Now, the reason why it looks so abandoned is because today's Tuesday, the kids are at school. But also because it's so cold. Even at the playground where we went, there weren't any kids because it's school time, and also it's cold. Even though it's sunny like this, the temperatures are slightly above 32 degrees, and that is cold. I'm trying to look for the lake. There's a lake here, but it's been such a long time since I've been here that I don't remember where the lake is. I'm afraid to walk on any parking lot or flat field, because if I walk on it, I might find the lake in a very unexpected way. I could fall into the lake without knowing that I'm walking on top of a lake. So I wonder if this is the lake. If there are no tracks on it, then it might be the lake. Here's something I didn't see 2 years ago when I was here. The first time I saw this thing, I didn't see it here in Kiev. Actually, I didn't see it in the Ukraine at all. I saw it in Denmark. Now, how is it possible that I could see this thing in Denmark, even though I live next to it, and I didn't see it while I was here over 2 years? It's because I saw it at my ex-girlfriend's house in Denmark, and she and her daughter Vanessa asked me what's my address. So I told her my address, and then she looked up the address on Google Earth, and she found the building where I live from above. And so we decided to look at the neighborhood where I live. And while looking above from a satellite, I guess, I was surprised to find this thing, a Russian tank. It's it's one of those World War II tanks, a T-38. I can tell by the wheels. It isn't a KV. A KV doesn't have wheels that big. This is in World War II. This was the most modern tank suspension system in the world. It surprised the Nazis because these things could go so fast, whack those Tiger tanks, hit them hard and run away very fast, and they couldn't catch them. Amazingly enough, these Russian tanks, T-38s, the suspension, the wheel system was invented by a United States inventor who invented them. And the U.S. Army said, we don't need a tank that goes fast. It's a stupid idea. So he went to Russia, and the Russians loved it. And they used it on this model tank. It's amazing how people can come up with such great ideas in one's own country, and the capitalists in your own country don't appreciate your great invention. So you have to go to another country to be appreciated. Just like when I was living in the United States, I got all these degrees from UCLA, Cal State Long Beach, and other colleges. And I was on the Dean's Honor List. I was getting straight A's, but the U.S. government didn't want me to work as a teacher. Instead, they would arrest me, put me in mental hospitals, and drug me. So I knew that I was not needed as a teacher in the United States. The U.S. government didn't want me to pay taxes, did not want me to have a normal life. They just wanted me to spend the rest of my life drugged, held in a mental hospital, being strapped to a bed all night with the lights left on, and being forced to take horrible medication that made me a cripple, made it difficult for me to walk, difficult to move my hands. And so I had to leave the United States. And when I came here, all of a sudden, the Ukrainians didn't want me to spend the rest of my life in the mental hospital. They wanted me to teach English. They thought that my UCLA education, my U.S. education, all my degrees were valuable, and they were surprised, and they gave me a job. And that's why I've been living here in Kiev ever since. And so when I look at this tank, I think about the U.S. inventor who had a great idea, but the U.S. government didn't want his idea. They just let him go to Russia, and he became rich because he invented this thing. Well, I finally found the lake. I guess this is the lake. And I spent like a half hour trying to find this lake. I couldn't find it because it looks the same as everywhere in the park. It just looks white. I was just afraid that I might find it by falling into it when I start hearing the ice cracking beneath me. But I had to ask somebody. I said, "Where's the lake?" They pointed. "It's right there in front of you. Can't you see it?" Well, so I found it. And when it looks like a parking lot like this, you can fall right through it and not know that it's a lake. Most of you already know why I've been living here in Kiev for the last 5 years, 6 years actually. But those of you who would like to know what I'm doing here, or why I left my family in the U.S. In 2002, you can read my book, The Mother of All Evidence. At the moment, it's not available in book form, like this, but you can get it through the Amazon Kindle store. The Amazon Kindle store is not a walk-in store. It is a virtual store. I can't make paper copies like this because every time I make a few copies, my photocopy machine breaks down, and it is very expensive for me to get it fixed. So you can get my book through the Amazon Kindle store or through my blogs on Facebook, MySpace, or DeviantArt. You'll find my web pages through my email address, paulrevere1776 at gmail.com. That's paulrevere1776 at gmail.com. If you are not ready to make a small investment in buying such a cheap book, you can read my articles on Facebook, MySpace, or DeviantArt. Or you can watch some of my other videos. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.